Greetings, Vinyl Model Maniacs! Panzerman Bill, Panzerman's Bunker, coming to you with a Stalingrad update on my Force Perspective diorama, Stalingrad. Oh, so many people died. Whole army consumed in a maelstrom of steel and fire and death. I don't like you, I don't like you. Alright guys, on this next segment of my Force Perspective, we're going to be looking at the vehicles I'm using in the diorama. So, coming with blibber jabber flibber labber, here we go. Oh! Alright, various scales, and the closest up, you're going to be seeing the Tamiya German Panzer III 148 scale. Got the commander yelling back. Got the German, the Nazi swastika flag on the top of the hull. Done in the early war gray. It's got the 24th Panzer Division with the cavalry, that horse and stuff. They got destroyed. That was the division that got destroyed in Stalingrad. Poor 24th got destroyed. So that's the Tamiya Panzer III. Next up is the 156 scale KV-1 by Warlord Games. Got it knocked out. Dead crew and some smoldering flame, smoke coming up from it and everything. So, did a lot of extra detail. Well, going back to this, the only detail I really added was the mesh. Everything else is stock. Did add the flag and of course the commander. This one, since it was war game, it's really simplified. You look in here, I wouldn't use this on a, by itself, because it's all slide molded one piece suspension, but for the diorama it looked good. I added all the bracings on the where's my stick? Never find my stick. I need my stick. Get my stick. All these braces right here, I added the turnbuckles right there. I added the tow cable. All the tools back in here I added. So it was a pretty simplified model. The stowage back here, I even made a spare track back here on the KV. Of course, the more stowage and the turnbuckle, and then the tow cable, just to give us a little bit more detail. And I modified the figures to show like a dead crew. I even made them pale. Oh, so they're really dead. They're long dead. They're stiff. They're stiffs. It's like a Stuka took it out, came down and shot it up. Got the crew, got some lucky shots, killed the crew. Next up is another, believe it or not, this is 156 scale with this puppy, so these are same scales. This is a little BA-10, yeah, BA-10, I think it's BA-10. BA-10 armored car. It's from a company called Company B. Company B makes the only version of a 156 scale BA-10 armored car. Believe it or not, this was all white metal, and the only part was the hull right here was resin. I had a lot of detail to this, lots of it. Toe points right here, the eyelets, antenna mount, stowage box right here, the back tail lights, the toe points on the back right here also, the bracket for the spare tire because it just slammed up onto it. So I had quite a bit of details to this that was missing from the actual kit. And then nice kit though, man, but heavy. Company B, BA-10 armor car. And lastly, this is a Gaz truck by UM. Now, for the Stalingrad, Stalin himself made an order called Ni Shagul Nazad, which means not one step back. He had blocking units. Just like in the movie Stalingrad, if they tried to retreat, they would be machine gunned. And they had the NKVD guys up there, running it. It'd be like the, police, secret police or something, of the army. So I got him up here. He's got a loudspeaker system. I scratch built that. Added the sign and everything. Hand wrote the Russian Cyrillic Nishagu Nazad. Paint him up in NKVD, and then had this guy here up a machine gun ready to shoot any guys retreating. Added some decals from other kits, but not a bad little UM kit. Gotta take your time, build it up. I actually extended up. Also, I extended up the planking right here. Really, the actual truck only comes about halfway up, so I added extra planking, and then the loudspeakers, and then the sign. So that's it. These are the vehicles that'll be in Stalingrad diorama. I will have a blown up 35th scale and a very, very foreground Gauss Jeep that the Germans will be using as a firing point. So these are the vehicles. I'll show you the guys when we get closer to completing the diorama, but the vehicles in the Stalingrad diorama. Oh. Alright guys, stay tuned for a feedback section. A couple of my commenters had questions, and I'm answering them coming up next. And then the puppies will be at the end. So stay tuned. Till next time, Panzerman Bill, Panzerman Bunker saying, stay tuned. Alright, fellow modelers, to answer a couple questions from the last video, I've done a feedback. Feedback on the Stalingrad diorama, force perspective. First up, Matt Hall. He wanted to see some more detail of the figures. I guess I ran through them too quick. Here you go, Matt. Asked in particular about the Airfix figures. This guy was a kind of a big conversion. The legs weren't quite right, so I had to do him like in a kneeling position on the other right side, so his shooting posture would look right. But this is the Airfix 132 scale figure. Show a little more of the detail of them. All painted in enamel, all painted in acrylics, and then the face and flesh and all that was done with an acrylic base and then enamels on top. Alright, that's Airfix. There's the old Tamiya Grenadier. Same deal with the paint. I did add a potato masher grenade in the boot. Built it out with putty, so it looked like it was falling into the cuff of the boot, and then did some bandage on his hand. A little extra detail on the guy. Standard old Tamiya figure, 1/35th scale. Warlord game, 156 scale war game figure that I did. This guy's gonna be a flamethrower dude. He's gonna have a jet of flame coming out. You'll see when the diorama comes together. Scratch built the flamethrower backpack and the flamethrower hose or nozzle or whatever you want to call it. Applicator of the fire device. Yeah. And this is a Tamiya 48 scale German. Got the blood splash. Still got to do some gloss on this guy here. Make him look like he's being shot. So that's the Germans. For the Ruskies, Tamiya 48 scale Russian. That's better job with the blood splatter. One of the other questions coming up is about the splatter, and I'll get to that momentarily. If you wanted to see some of the figures up close, Matt. That's the Tamiya figure. Here's the 56 scale Warlord game figures. This guy's got his arm out because his arm's going to be on fire from the flamethrower dude. There's going to be flames coming off. I still got to come up with some kind of clear acetate for the arm. Maybe I'm going, my arm's on fire. What am I going to do? Stop, roll, tuck and roll, kiss my ass goodbye. Poor Ruski. Ivan's going to be cooking. This guy here I pulled out on particular because I did a head swap, and in the process of carving out the head and everything, I took out his ears. And the guy didn't have no ears left, so I actually had to do an ear transplant. I had to find another figure and carefully shave off the ears so he would have ears, so he wouldn't look so strange. Build the horrors you do to plastic figures. One day you will answer for your atrocities. I actually did a little epaulets on them and put the little metal the little metal on his chest is added by styrene. Give the officer a little more authoritarian look. Yeah, tank at shooting you with my 9mm. Shut up. And of course, the Zvezda 72nd scale Russian. This not gonna be any Germans in 30 and 72nd scale because these are the guys gonna be all the way in the back. But got quite a few 72nd scale Ruskies. I really like the Zvezda line of figures. They're really excellent, even though they're made for like a war game system. The figures are really nice, and they're hard plastic. So that's a rarity when it comes to 72nd scale. All right, Matt. Those are the figures. I hope you like them. JVC Paints asked about the blood splatter, like on our Russian friend here, and all that is what I did is take some clear tape, cut out a pattern that looks like a blood splatter, more like a crazy starfish, pull it up and apply it, drill out a couple holes, and then push it right into the hole. And to stiffen it up, just put some super glue on it and it'll harden it up, and then you can paint it like a blood splatter. Real easy peasy. Well, I know it's Hollywood, you know, blood splatter, blood everywhere, but it looks cool for my diorama. So that's how I do the blood splatter. Hope that answers your question, JVC Paints. Oh! And Matt. Okay, guys. Dogs are up next. Thanks for the feedback section. If you got any more questions in any of my videos, I will do a feedback section. Auf Wiedersehen, mein Damen und Herren. Stay tuned for puppies. There's the boys. There's Talon. He's sleepy. Yeah, Talon, late night here, and there's Fan. You guys see the boys. About 5 o'clock in the morning here in the bunker. Can't make too much noise to wake up Daddy. Right, guys? Hey, Talon. Talon's sleepy. He's sleepy, ain't you, big guy? Sleepy. Ain't you, Fan? My boys. Everybody wants to see the boys. Yeah, sleepy puppies. Alright, guys, keep building, keep having fun. Panzerman Bill, out.